everyone. Welcome back to Open. Our last guest is a rising star who's made a name for himself in the business behind the scenes as a musician and producer. A self-taught musician with early beginnings in the church and an eclectic interest in various genres, which has led him to working with hit makers such as Usher, Mario, and Deborah Cox, and that's to name a few. But most recently, he's accepted his calling to share his gift as a singer and songwriter with his music delivering blends of Christian and soul music. And here to share more, we welcome musician, producer, singer, and songwriter Energii with two eyes.
Oh yeah, two eyes.
Two eyes.
Yes, ma'am.
I had to say that. Welcome.
So glad to be here.
So happy to have you.
Yes, ma'am. Indeed.
In your soft-spoken voice. Let's start with the energy and two eyes at the end. Yeah, two eyes.
Two of them.
Yeah.
So the way that came about, was sitting with some friends back in college, back in Boston at Berkeley, and we had a group, and my best friend was like, you know what? Everywhere you go, you bring energy, man, and it's always good energy. You always bring to the table what's needed, and he named me Energy, and it's stuck with me ever since.
It's a beautiful name to carry. And it is interesting that you focus on it because that was our conversation prior to getting on air.
Exactly.
It's about the energy in the space,
yes,
right?
Yes, definitely. It can make or break a thing, and just the energy here is amazing.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Like sitting over there, what are you picking up from having experienced all the other guests and the crew as well, for that matter?
Just so much love. Unity definitely is a major thing, to see everyone support one another. Everyone that has gone, everyone that you've interviewed, it's been great. Like the heart of everyone's messages, just supporting one another. You know, you can't talk about the problem and not be there to be a part of the solution.
Exactly.
You know, so to see that, manifest here amongst us, it's a beautiful thing. It's awesome.
Well, thank you for reflecting that back on me, right? Because, hey, you're going to actually close this out with your soothing sounds, right? And singing from your soul. And that's a journey that you also eventually came into, right? Because you were working behind the scenes.
Definitely.
So what happened that now all of a sudden, I mean, I'm sure it was always there, but it sounds to me like you got pulled so strongly into like, you know what, now I'm going to do singing, songwriting.
I think you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what happened. I got to a place where I couldn't hide behind the scenes anymore. I did a few records just as a feature, and friends, family, everyone around me was like, you need to do this more often. Like, this is you, this fits. And it was definitely a journey to go from behind the scenes to actually stepping out in front. It took some believing within myself, but as I kept doing it, it really came to life, and I started taking on as an identity.
And so, if I read correctly, like this really pivoted during the pandemic. So what happened during the pandemic that kind of gave you that push?
Geez, so during the pandemic, which was hard for us all, definitely life-changing for us all, I'm definitely, at that moment, I'm laying in the bed, thinking back over my life, decisions that I've made, just considering all the things that I held back. And this was one of the primary things that I held back. And after that moment, it was like, when we get up from this bed, we're going forward, and we're not gonna hold anything back. We're gonna go all the way.
That's a big thing. I'm taking that statement in really deeply because it's almost like an awakening that occurred, right?
Definitely.
For some.
Yeah.
And for some, it hindered some, whatever it is that they didn't have resolved.
Right.
It's been amplified.
Yes, indeed.
However, staying in the light, right?
Oh, yes.
Right? There was that moment of realizing that, you know what? If I don't do it now, when am I going to do it?
Exactly.
Tomorrow's not promised.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Definitely. It's not promised.
So it's kind of in there, but it wasn't in there strong enough for you to go, I'm just going to do it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it wasn't. Oddly enough, once I started to get better, it was when I started to record the call. And my best friend, she was there, and when I recorded it, she was like, hold on, wait. you can't sit on this anymore. You have to do this. You have to go forward. And it just confirmed, like that realization you're talking about. It confirmed everything for me, and got some tenacity about myself.
Well, we're talking about the call.
Exactly.
we're talking about the call.
It's
and you
it.
put it on record.
Yes,
And
definitely.
you document it.
Yes.
And I want to tell you something I tell everybody. I personally feel that anything that has been manifested, produced, and documented during this particular period of time holds a more valuable historical value.
Wow.
It carries a more valuable historical value. I know I sound redundant, but if you think about it, hundreds of years from now, people are always going to research the pandemic.
Right.
And then in there are all of the different products that came from it.
You're right.
So they hold a different level of value, is what I'm
right.
saying.
Yes.
So congratulations to you for making
Appreciate it.
history like that
wow.
on a deep level.
Mind blowing. You definitely added a perspective I did not have, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate your authenticity, right? Because
Yes.
again, it's about like being spoon-fed certain things that were meant to have us live in fear.
Right. Yeah, I agree 100%. And it was the thing I found myself stuck in, that I didn't have a name for. I really didn't, I couldn't identify until I kept having those moments like, this is you. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. And like you said, I believe everyone gets to that place within themselves where they realize it's now or never. And in that moment, I knew it's now.
Well, I did introduce that you've worked with Usher. I mean, come on, like Usher, right?
Right.
And so that there's something that goes with being able to carry that name in your repertoire.
Right, definitely.
But you worked with Usher being on the back end, right?
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that you're able to learn the ins and outs of what it takes
Yes.
to execute on on caliber.
Yes, definitely.
Right. And I think it's important that we mention that, because everybody always wants to be in the front.
Right.
Right. But really, it's the grit of being behind that
yes.
makes the front look good.
Exactly. It's the sleepless nights and the research and doing the homework and, just going nonstop. When everyone goes to sleep, you're still up. You're still going. It's those moments that ultimately make you. And so to be able to bring that to this, it's almost as if it's the thing that God has been prepping me for without me even knowing.
And you're going to share it with us today.
I'm honored to.
Oh my gosh, we're honored to have you, right? I'm feeling you. I'm like, energy with two eyes, mi gente, with two eyes. But before we allow you to start prepping for it, let's talk about your trajectory up until now.
Okay.
What you're going to present for us. Just give us as succinct as possible, though.
Oh man, so the plan for today is ultimately to share with you the journey of the call, everything that we discuss, that moment of realizing life changing. You can't do the things that you used to. You can't be the places, can't be there for everyone the same way that you used to. And it's not any loss of love. It's simply, I got to answer the call. So like we said, now or never. And I'm doing everything I can today to make sure that I project that inside of this record.
Yeah, beautiful. And you're going to share it with our viewers. And, just to piggyback off of answering the call, right now, like, I want to say we're living in a day and age where we really need to take into deep consideration what it means to be together.
Yeah.
To be together. And that's what we shared today.
Yes.
And I'm sharing that on air, but what we were discussing really is what the space is holding.
Yes, it is. That's the key that's missing, that unity. I believe when we're able to identify our strengths and our weaknesses, we're able to identify it in others. It's not for us to take advantage of. It's for us to identify and to now serve the areas in one another's lives. And I'm so grateful to be a part of that.
Me too. I live in service myself.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, thank you for being such an amazing, energetic reflection, darling. Energy,
Indeed.
everyone.
Yes,
Oh my
ma'am.
gosh. Guys, don't go anywhere because when we return, Energy with 2 eyes is going to perform for us after the break, and you don't want to miss it.